Next here on the Big 7 at 7, crews continuing to battle a wildfire near Rocky Top in Anderson County. Take a look here. The fire broke out Wednesday and has since doubled in size to 303 acres. It is still reported to be about 50% contained. Now, 2 Army helicopters were brought in to drop water on the inaccessible areas. Officials say the fire got within 20 feet of one home, but there have not been any reported injuries or structures damaged up to this point.
It still has potential to burn, especially if winds pick up this afternoon into tomorrow like we expect them. You know, that's usually our worst times, while the humidity's down before this front arrives. And we just encourage people, we're not issuing permits.
Tennessee Highway Patrol is also working to help contain the fire by assisting with traffic control. Moving along in our Big 7 list for you tonight, a substitute teacher with Sevier County Schools is facing charges including statutory rape. According to a warrant from the Sevier County Sheriff's Office, 44-year-old Jacqueline Porterfield is being charged with statutory rape by an authority figure and sexual exploitation of a minor by electronic means. We're told this all happened after a detective with the office spoke to the 17-year-old victim, who stated that the two have been having sex since January of this year. Now, the victim also said Porterfield sent him several nude photos. During the time of the alleged crime, which took place between January and March of this year, Porterfield was working as a teacher at the victim's school. Next up, an investigation underway tonight after a Sevier County student was hit by a car while waiting for the bus. It happened this morning. Now, Tennessee Highway Patrol responded to the scene. We understand the driver of the vehicle has now been charged. The student was taken to the hospital. No word on how they are doing right now. Of course, we will keep you updated as we learn more. Big layoffs in our next story for you tonight on the 7. We learned today the U.S. Department of Health and Human Resources is eliminating 10,000 workers, shutting down agencies that oversee funding for addiction services and community health centers across the country. The Secretary of Health and Human Services, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., is cutting his department's workforce from 82,000 to 62,000. Locally, the Metro Drug Coalition in Knoxville is already feeling some of this impact. The coalition shared it was notified recently that some of its funds through the Advanced Research Projects Agency for Health are being cut, effective immediately. Also, the organization will not be reimbursed for grants to carry out a set of planned rehabilitation projects, leaving the MDC now to find another way to carry out its mission. Executive Director Webster Bailey says the HHS is an incredibly important department within the federal system.
My hope is that you know, as these changes are occurring, that people take a really close look at what exactly these organizations, you know, that kind of fall under HHS funding do for the community, and sort of just reevaluate things. And so I realize that right now the focus is on, you know, cutting spending as much as we possibly can, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but we've got to just make sure that we're cutting in the right places.
Bailey shared that the organization is trying to come up with the best ideas and solutions and will share openly and honestly moving forward. For our final Big 7 story tonight, more on rebuilding efforts in Cocke County, still affected by Helene. Whitewater rafting, you know, is one of the area's largest attractions, and many rafting companies in the area are beginning to reopen for the spring season. But they say this year may look different compared to years past. According to Ober Rafting Operations Director Lacey Bramlett, while rafting conditions are still family friendly, she says the geography has changed, something to be aware of, even for seasoned rafters. Now, she tells us while her company's rafting area mostly had damage to the ziplining attraction, they are set to open Memorial Day weekend.
I think, if anything, it's a blessing in some regards, because I've been able to feed my passion and love for this community back into this community. And I think that's a really resounding and resilient thing that's come out of all of this, is just the care that we've provided to each other and the support we've provided to each other throughout the last 6 months.
Bramlett says there is still more work to be done before Ober Rafting is able to fully open in 2 months, but it was the community that helped get it to this point. As a number of rafting communities begin to reopen, she hopes this can help rebuild the area's economy as well. Tonight, we officially have another candidate in the running for Knox County Mayor. Betsy Henderson today confirmed to 6 News that she will be joining the race, saying that she has now taken the formal step of appointing a treasurer for her campaign. In her statement, the current school board chair for Knox County told us what is motivating her to make this move, saying, quote, "Over the past few months, I have been so encouraged by the heartfelt conversations I've had with people throughout Knox County. She continues saying that we have the opportunity to keep our county a place where families thrive, where conservative Christian values guide us, and where personal freedom, responsibility, and hard work are celebrated, end quote. Well, as of right now, the only person running for Knox County Mayor, the only other person running, I should say, is Knox County Commissioner Larson Jay, and we will, of course, continue to follow the county mayor's race right here on 6 News. President Trump has fired a board member from the Tennessee Valley Authority. A filing from the Securities and Exchange Commission shows that Michelle Moore's appointment on the TVA Board of Directors ended yesterday at the direction of the president. Former President Joe Biden named Moore to the board, and she was confirmed by the Senate in December of 2022. Her term was originally scheduled to end next May. Now, this move comes after Tennessee Senators Marsha Blackburn and Bill Hagerty were critical of TVA leadership in an op-ed published by Power magazine, stating the board lacked talent and experience. In the opinion piece, they also asked the Trump administration to appoint an interim CEO. President Trump fired 2 TVA board members in his first term.